They had all these little stickers on my chest. They put these pads on my chest and my back in case if my heart did stop, so they could shock it, which I know that can be pretty scary, but every time I've been to the ER, they pull the paddles up next to the bed. So I guess I've just always kind of known that's just a precaution they take. That doesn't mean that they're gonna shock me. It's just there if I need it. So I wasn't really nervous about that or anything, or the stickers, because I've had those sticker things on me so many times in my life getting my heart checked out. So that did not surprise me at all. They pulled like an x-ray thing over top of me, over my chest, so I couldn't really see this, because there were a bunch of screens along the table and I couldn't really see those very well past the x-ray thing they had over me. Then they went ahead and they got started. They put this gel or cooling stuff all over my kind of groin area. They didn't have to shave it or anything because I knew about that, and I kind of did that already the night before. And they put this numbing gel or whatever all over it, and then they inserted the catheters, and this is where I started to second guess, should I have gotten the sedatives, because everybody had said, oh no, when they insert the catheters you don't even feel it, like you don't feel it, and I totally felt it. When they pushed them in pretty quick and pushed them up into my heart area, and it felt not painful but like a full feeling, almost like a heavy or full feeling, and I was just like, whoa. Like, it's just the best way I can describe it is your chest knows something is in there that is not supposed to be there. And when it first goes into your heart, like my heart started like having these weird hard beats and jumping around a little bit just from having those in there, and they weren't even doing anything. But that was pretty quick, and I had already been explained that they would try to start the arrhythmias, and I felt good about the fact that the doctor said when they make your heart speed, because they'll do things to like make it race and speed and pound hard, he says they only do each thing for a few seconds, and I'm like, okay, I can handle that. And that's exactly what they did. They did everything for just a few seconds, and it got pretty intense. Like, they probably took it up to 200, 250 beats a minute, like faster than even my arrhythmia ever went. So that was intense. I was kind of felt pressure in my head a couple of times, kind of lightheaded here and there, but I was flat on the table. I knew I was in good hands. So I just, kept breathing in and out, just nothing. I handled it. They have my arms strapped down, which might be a little bit scary for some people, but they do it so I don't knock all of the things off. Like, they have like wires and IV lines and stuff that they don't want you to knock off. So yeah, I really just couldn't do anything. I was laying there and I just kept, just kind of self-calming myself, and they would tell me every time that everything they were gonna do, and that helped, so I could kind of mentally prep for it. And they found the arrhythmia, which was the AVNRT, like they suspected. And once he found it, he went in to ablate it. And so the burning, it didn't hurt, but it just felt kind of warm. And that lasted, I don't know, 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And then he'd try to start it again, and I guess he was able to still kind of start it even though it was slower. And so he went and he burned again, and he did that another time, and then he burned again. So I don't know if he burned different spots or the same spot just to get it really good. But then he did a bunch more of pacing and trying to make it speed, and that's the part that I didn't like, because it's not painful, but it feels like you're in your arrhythmia, kind of. And it's just this pounding, really fast heartbeat. It's just unpleasant. It can make you lightheaded. But he did that for about just a couple of minutes. Couldn't get it started. Then I had to lay there for about 10 minutes. They told me again that then they try to start it again. But when he started it for the second time, like after I waited about 10 minutes, I didn't realize he was starting again, and all of a sudden my heart just started going crazy, and my first thought was, oh no, what's going on? But that the nurse came over and she said that's what they were doing. So, you know, I kind of calmed down after that, because I thought suddenly this weird arrhythmia was starting. I didn't know what it was. So that was the only thing, like, if I could change that, is if they would have told me about that. I think they were just, you know, doing their job and kind of forgot. But, you know, I handled that. Once they were done with that, it was just like, okay, we're done. And my heart was beating totally normal. Once in a while it'd have a little flutter or a little hard bang, but that's just because of them messing around in there so much. It's gonna do that a little bit once in a while, but it wasn't anything like scary. We were all, like, I was joking around with them, the nursing staff and everybody, and they were just like, wow, like, you went through all of that without sedatives. And I'm like, I don't know why I would have sedatives. I don't, like, it wasn't pleasant, like I said, but it was nothing that I could not handle, and it was only about an hour, and it didn't even seem that long. So yeah, they took me back to my room, and they laid me flat because I couldn't, like, they had put pressure on where they put after they pulled the catheters out, and so they did that for a couple minutes, and that was not a huge deal. And then I just kind of had to lay there for about 4 hours, and that was hard, because they gave me an IV and it was full of fluid, and then I had to go to the bathroom, and so I didn't want to eat or drink, because they make you use a bedpan if you have to go, and I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to wait till the end of the 4 hours. So I just kind of was uncomfortable that whole time until I could finally get up and go to the bathroom. But really, it's just more or less that 4 hours you're supposed to stay still, and you can't really, they don't tilt your head up hardly at all. But I was able to watch TV and play with my phone and kind of update everybody that I was done and I was alive, you know, because people worry. And yeah, and my husband showed up at about an hour before I had to leave, and that was totally my fault. He was supposed to be there with me all day, but I screwed up the schedule, and for some reason I thought it was yesterday that I was supposed to go in, and it wasn't. So his day off from work was not the right one, and he's got a job where he's really needed in the summer. So I just like, okay, well, I wasn't about to reschedule the procedure. I just wanted to get it done. I knew I could handle being alone. I'm kind of an introvert anyway, so I can almost stay a little bit calmer if I am alone and just kind of in my own mind. I guess that's just me. But I was really glad when he came, and we walked around the hospital a couple times just because I had to show them, you know, that I was able to get up and around, and they wanted to make sure that that incision, or the place where they poke the catheters in, they want to make sure that wasn't going to bleed too much, and they said it looked good. So I was out of there at about 5 o'clock. So my whole day lasted about, I was there early, so it was 7:30 to 5. Probably would have been 8 to 5 if I had come at the right time. But yeah, so I'm home now, and I'm just hanging out. On the ride home, I noticed one time I got a tiny little bit lightheaded, and I had a couple of little, like, palpitations, which they said are normal when you're recovering, because your heart's, like, irritated and it's trying to heal. And also, I didn't really eat anything all day, and that, I think, had a lot to do with it, because my energy level, kind of by the end of the day, I started to just feel tired really quickly, and that was a little bit depressing. But we picked up some Arby's on the way home, and I had a sandwich, and I've actually been feeling pretty good now. After that, I came home. The animals were glad to see me, and so, you know, like, I've been playing with the animals a little bit, and we were just gonna sit down and watch a movie. But I mean, I'm not restricted at all, other than I'm not supposed to pick up things that are like more than 10 pounds, and I'm not supposed to do really strenuous activity just so that that site where they went in can heal. And I have a hunch that my endurance is probably a little bit down, just because my heart is kind of irritated right now, and I don't feel anything in my heart other than once in a while I get like a little bit of a burning sensation, but it is nothing bad. Like, it's not terrible. It's just like I kind of notice it, but it's not like bad. And then in my groin area where they went in, it's kind of sore when I walk around, so I try not to walk around a whole lot. But no, I'll say I'm fine. Like, I have probably the only real thing is once in a while I'll get a palpitation here or there, but it doesn't go and start racing or anything crazy, or it'll just be one palpitation and I'm fine. Like, it's nothing too crazy, at least at this point, and I'm hoping that it stays that way. So I'll probably make an update video eventually, maybe in a week or so, just to kind of update on my progress, and hopefully I will still be doing really good. So good luck if you're thinking about having this done.